This is the Archangel 2210 here to give you the Ultimate Avengers animated movie review. Now, with Ultimate Avengers, it basically is in the Ultimate Universe, so it's not going to be the classic universe that people all know and love. It's going to be very different, or at least parallel in a ways. The movie starts off with Captain America. It's starting off in World War II, so at least got that part right. So he's wearing his classic, old school Captain America gear, with the giant shield, not the circle one. And they do make a reference to the Nazis and to Hitler, but Hitler doesn't make an appearance or a cameo in here. They have a villain alien, but you don't know this at the time. You find this out in the second one that he's an alien. No, actually, no. You do find out in this one that he's an alien because he throws the shield at him. It slices his face in half, and it heals right in front of him. So he finds out that he's not human at this point. And of course, Captain America, there was like a missile that got launched. He jumped on it. He dismantled it. It exploded, and he basically went into the water, and that's how he got frozen. And of course, years later, he gets found by Shield, the Shield agents, Betty. Now, Betty in this version, she's a scientist. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I remember from the Ultimate Avengers comics, she was not a scientist. She was just Betty Ross. I don't know if she was like an actress or just some girl. I don't think she was an actual scientist. So that they changed for the sake of the animated film, just to have her in there. Which, okay, I'll get. Bruce Banner, I was not crazy about Bruce Banner. The whole time I was thinking, I do not like this character. I really don't like this character. I know he's supposed to be the Hulk and everything, but the way they portrayed him, he seemed like a jerk. He seemed whiny, and he seemed wimpy. Is the best word I could describe. Because he had an alternative motive that he wanted the super soldier serum for himself. He wanted it from Steve Trevor. He wanted it not Steve Trevor. Oh my God, that's the wrong Steve. Steve Rogers, my bad. He wanted his blood sample so he could take a sample of the super soldier serum and use that for the Hulk to see if he can control the Hulk, and that was his whole motive. But Nick Fury wanted him to use that to enhance all the other members of the Avengers for this upcoming alien threat, and of course he didn't do that. And when he found that out, he got angry at him, not the Hulk, Nick Fury, and he's like, "What'd you do this for? We're in trouble now. We can't handle this on our own." So they're basically up the creek. They got this alien wave coming in they have vibranium body armor, not body armor, but like embedded in their body. It's vibranium, and their ships are made of vibranium, and their weapons. So basically, they're toast. They did make shards of vibranium around that. They did have shards of vibranium that actually they used to make small weapons and the giant shield for Captain America. In the end, Hulk joined in. He basically helped them out tremendously. But then they had to save the city from the Hulk, and he was hulking out, and he was going crazy, and it was like everyone got beaten and bloodied at the end. Captain America, I was like, oh man. The only one that didn't get that blooded up, beaten and bloody was Black Widow, because she got skills and she was flipping around and avoiding him. She did get knocked out, but she didn't get bruised and beat. I was like, okay. Now, all in all, great animation. I love the animation in this film. It reminded me a lot of X-Men Evolution Season 1, and in fact, they actually grabbed a lot of the producers from that cartoon. Now, story-wise, it was good, but it could have been better. I would give this pretty much a 7 out of 10. And you could pretty much find this at any, like, grocery store or video store for probably $10. Now, on to Avengers 2. Now, with this one, we focus on Black Panther and him being the king of Wakanda. Now, I love this film because, more than the first one, because it goes right into the action. You skip all the introduction, because the first one, they go through a lot of introduction, a lot of exposition. They got to talk about Captain America. They got to talk about his origin. They got to talk about Wasp and Giant Man and how they got their powers and blah 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 blah. They had to go through all that and all those characters. So they did the best they could for all those characters, and they did a pretty good job. But with this one, they went straight into it, and it takes place a few months later, however much. And Captain America, he just keeps doing these missions. He keeps pushing himself past his limit, and he's all bruised up and bloody, and he doesn't care. He just keeps going. And Black Widow's trying to tell him, you need to slow down. You need to stop. You need to slow down. You're gonna end up killing yourself. What's wrong with you? And he's for something is in him. He just wants to keep going. Mainly because he's haunted by his past. He keeps getting these nightmares about Kleiser, the alien that was in World War II, who actually survived all that time. He's not really dead. Because since he's an immortal alien, he's still somewhere roaming around on Earth. Probably went and just chilling in his one-bedroom apartment with a cheeseburger. I don't know. But anyway, Wakanda has T'Challa's father gets killed by one of the aliens. And that's what pushes T'Challa to have the mantle of the Black Panther and to push himself to become the king of Wakanda. And okay, now I know the Ultimate Universe is different than the Classic Universe, but Black Panther being able to turn into a half Black Panther, like an actual Black Panther cat. Okay, I'm sure that probably happens in the Ultimate Universe, but was it really necessary? I mean, he has enough skills and know-how, and as if I bring him to the claws, it's like he doesn't really need to turn into an actual cat. I thought that was kind of, that's just my opinion. I don't know if that was really useful. So anyway, the aliens are pretty much after Wakanda, so you have a whole new change of scenery. In the whole film, you're pretty much in Wakanda. And it's a great change of scenery from the city landscape that we saw in the first film. And this time around, the aliens, they want to reclaim their source of vibranium that's in Wakanda. And what Wakanda makes all the weapons out of. They have a huge... Because an asteroid fell in Wakanda and ended up being made of pure vibranium, and that's what they made all their knives and their missiles out of. Make it out of vibranium. And they want that back to, like, basically this thin membrane is, like, covering the whole planet. At some point, Wasp gets into a coma during one of the missions. And you think, oh, she's gonna die. And I'm thinking, okay, no, she's not gonna die. They're not gonna kill off one of the characters. It's like, right? They're not gonna kill off one of the characters, one of the core members of the team. They're not gonna do that. But, spoiler alert, for anyone who has not seen this film, probably very few that haven't, but yeah, someone does die at the end. It's not Wasp. It is Giant Man / Ant-Man. He dies at the end. I was thinking, what? Now, okay. I'm not entirely sure if this actually happened in Ultimate Avengers, where Giant Man, like, someone clue me in, because I don't follow Ultimate Avengers. I like the classic story, so I'm not sure if he died that close into it, but okay, he dies, and they have memorial at the end, so he died a hero. Because the whole thing was that he was basically he needs to grow up, and they were saying he's a jerk and all that. The story was better than the first one, but it was still okay. Animation was great. I loved Black Widow in this one. I loved her even more in this one than I did in the first one. Um, I would probably give this an 8 out of 10, mainly because I love Black Panther, and I love the whole relationship with Black Widow and Captain America in this one. I will give this an 8 out of 10. And again, you could probably find this in any DVD store, or store for like in the bargain bin for like probably 10 bucks. Because this is a few years old. There's not much special features on it, so 8 out of 10, probably combined, probably a 9 out of 10. Or probably 8 out of 10. Ultimate Avengers 2, 1 and 2.